Hello everyone. Particle classification. So this is a certain technique which is population based and it tries to simulate the behavior of animals in the group. For example, birds in the flock or fishes in the group. So particle swarm optimization, in short called as PSO, is actually swarm intelligence based, approximate and not deterministic optimization technique. So what do you mean by swarm intelligence based? So somehow we are trying to simulate the intelligence in the swarm of animals. The way animals behave in a group to do a particular activity or to fulfill the particular objective, we are trying to simulate this behavior in this algorithm. Similarly, this algorithm is approximate. It may not guarantee the optimal solution, and this is also non-deterministic. So what do you mean by optimization technique? We already know the optimization technique means somehow we need to find the parameters that provides a maximum value of target function. This is a maximization problem. Or if we are trying to find the minimum value of target function, that will be a minimization problem. So optimization technique gives me optimal value for which the optimal value of a target function and its associated parameters. So just to give the perspective why this optimization is required. So overall why this PSA is required. So the current base usage of optimization you can find is in machine learning. So in machine learning, there are algorithms, classification algorithms such as ANN or SVM. For this algorithm, many of the time we need to supply a coefficient, and for that coefficient, we may have either maximum or minimum, uh, mostly a minimum loss function, minimum value of loss function. So these coefficients are found by trial and error. So somehow we want to optimize our coefficient such that our loss function is minimum. So instead of exhaustive searching, we may use PSA over there. So let's quickly look at the origin of PSA. So PSO was first described in 1995 by Kennedy and Eberhard. Basically, this PSO is extracted, derived from two key concepts. First is the observation of swarming habits of animals such as birds or fish. So you may have noticed how birds identify the good location for landing. So what is a good location for landing? The location where there is plenty of food for every bird, also which is more secure from the predator. So they want to find such location where food is available in abundance. Also there are less number of predators. So what they do normally is they circle around the particular location and then try to find a best possible location for landing. Now each bird in the flock find out its personal best location, and then as a group they decide which location for the landing. So in each round they identify the best location so far, and then they communicate that best location to every bird in the swarm or flock, so that all the birds will land the same position. So from this observation, we try to somehow simulate this observation in our PSO. And second concept is from the evolutionary computing. So we already have seen evolutionary algorithm. So this PSO is very similar to evolutionary computation. Namely, if we carry forward the analogy of evolutionary algorithm, the population in EA is the swarm in PSA or flock in PSA, whereas individual in evolutionary algorithm EA is a particle in PSA. So we will see how this particle and how the swarm in general find out the optimal or solve the optimization problem. So in PSA algorithm, uh, multiple solutions are examined at one time. So during each iteration, we observe the multiple solutions and then we compare the multiple solutions using fitness function, and then we select the solution which is more fit. Now each solution here is represented by the particle, and then this particle fly or swarm through the search space to find a best solution for the objective function. So this is the overall scenario. So for example, we have these four particles on this curve. So these four particles represent one possible solution. And then using fitness function, we can arrange them in some sequence, and then we can identify the more fitter solution. And then all these four solutions will form to the search space to find out the maximum, ultimate maximum. So what information is maintained with each particle? So each particle maintains first the position in search space. So this position in search space is actually a solution of a problem. So each particle represents one solution of a problem. Along with that, each particle also maintains the velocity of that particular particle. So more on this velocity in coming slide. And also each particle maintains the individual best position found so far. So individual best solution found so far. So these particles are going to change their position iteration after iteration. So they will examine they will explore different region of our solution search space, and then they will remember the best solution found so far. So with each particle, there is a current solution, then there is a velocity, and then a best solution found so far. In addition to these 3 points, the swarm overall swarm maintains the global best solution. If there are n particles, so what is the best solution found by this n particles is called as global best solution, and this information is also maintained. So this is very short but uh, clear algorithm for PSA. It consists of just three steps. So first step is there are n particles, so we calculate the fitness value of all the particles. Depending upon the fitness value, you will update the individual and global base for those particles. Once that updation is done, we will calculate the velocity and the position of each particle. And then we will repeat all these three steps until certain stopping condition is met. Again, what can be a stopping condition that we will see in some slides. Next slide. So our PSA algorithm is very simple. In one iteration, in every iteration, you will calculate the fitness value for each particle. If this new fitness value is better than the best so far, we will update the current fitness value, and then we will calculate the velocity of each particle so that we will be able to calculate the next position of the particle. Once we are at the next position, again we will calculate the thickness value of the next position. Then we will update the base, and then again we will calculate the velocity. And this will continue until some conditions are met. So how to calculate the velocity is important aspect of this PSO algorithm. So what is velocity, that we will see afterwards, but how to calculate the velocity, how to update the velocity is important. So this formula helps us to calculate the velocity. So let's disintegrate this formula. So as you can see, there are three terms in this formula. First term is called as inertia component. Second term in green is called as cognitive component, and the term in blue is called as social component. So to calculate the velocity, we will consider inertia component. So the component is red is inertia component. So inertia component along with cognitive component and the social component gives us the velocity of that particle, updated velocity of the particle. So now let's try to make some sense of these random characters. So here I represents the particle index. In my swarm there may be n number of particles. So for ith particle, this formula is going to give me the updated velocity. So this W is inertial coefficient. Again, we will see in detail, we will study these coefficients and everything. Let's try to first find out the name for this variable. So W is the inertial coefficient. C1, as I said, W is inertial coefficient. C1, C2 are acceleration coefficients. R1, R2 are the random values generated for every velocity update. Vi of t is particle's velocity at time t. So for ith particle, what is the velocity at time t? Is given by Vi t. Xit is the particle's current position at time t. So for ith particle, what is the position of ith particle at time t is given by xit. X represents the position. Xi hat t is that particle's best solution found so far at time t. The best solution up to time t is given by xi hat t, whereas gt is the swarm's best solution as of time t. So again we will see this entire equation. So W is inertial coefficient, C1, C2 are acceleration coefficient, R1, R2 are random values, Vit is the velocity of ith particle at time t, Xit is the position of ith particle at time t, Xi hat t is the ith particle's best solution so far, and Gt is Swarm's best solution so far. So our first component is inertia component given in red. So what is this inertia component? So this is multiplication of W into Vit. W is inertial coefficient and Vit is current velocity. So this component gives me the momentum. So this particular particle must have traveled from some other place to the current place. It must have followed some velocity and some direction. Now for the next updation, I should also consider the particle direction of exploration. So this particular term considers the particle's direction of exploration so far. So this gives me a momentum, and because of this term, my particle will not change its direction drastically. So this inertia coefficient W is usually between 0.8 to 0.1. So if I use lower values for W, it will speed up the convergence, while if I use higher values, that will encourage the exploration. So this is very obvious. If W is small, the overall weightage of this inertia component will be small, and because of that, we will be more biased towards other two components, which is cognitive component and social component. So we will not consider the exploration direction. We are not uh, giving weightage to the exploration direction so far, and we are giving weightage to other two components. So because of that, it may speed up the convergence. But in the process, it may not encourage the exploration. It will not explore, the particle will not explore the space in the given decided direction, and it will haphazardly change its direction towards best known so far regions. And those best known so far regions may not have optimal solution. So we should also encourage the exploration in some other explored areas. To do this, we have this inertia coefficient and this inertia component in the velocity. Next term is cognitive component. So what is cognitive component? Cognitive component is mainly a difference between particle's current position and particle's best known solution so far, best found solution so far. So what worked for me so far is simulated because of this term. Now, for analogy, how we live our life in general. So most of the time we do the things which worked for us in past. So we must have done few things that work for us, and then we try to repeat those things again and again, so that so this cognitive component is helps us to okay, so this cognitive component helps us to somehow simulate this thinking, that how we can repeat the successful steps we have taken so far, what worked for us so far, what led us to the success so far. So to simulate this, we use this cognitive component. Whereas the term in the blue, which is the social component, what is this social components? The social components is difference between the current position and the best swarm's best position. So now what is this difference actually? So in our society, there must be someone who is very successful. Then we try to copy its steps. Why this person is successful? What he have done right so that he is successful? Let's try to copy it. So this kind of social uh, behavior we are trying to capture using this social component. So first component in green gives me a cognitive component. So these things worked for me so far. So I will try to emulate those steps, repeat those steps. While term in blue gives me a social component. That's why the term in green is also called as nostalgia part. And term in blue is called as envy part. So we envy someone and we try to copy the steps taken by that person. So this C1 is cognitive coefficient, which is usually close to 2. So this coefficient is required to limit the size of states we take
towards our individual base. So how much jump we should take towards our individual base is monitored, controlled by C1. Our next component is social component. So this social component causes particle to move towards the base regions of swarm has found so far. So as I have already spoken about it, this is also called as NV component. So this C2 usually close to 2 and it limits the step size particle takes towards global base. So my velocity updation formula involves inertia component. So direction in which particle is moving, exploring the search space that I am considering. Then second is a cognitive component. What worked for me so far may work for me in the future, so I will try to copy it. And third component is social component. What worked for a successful person may work for me, so I will try to copy that step. So all these three terms somehow I will combine together to determine my next step. So one important point over here is this addition may not represent our normal addition. So we may not always add all these three quantities together. But what it represents is somehow we need to combine all these three terms to get our next velocity. Similarly, these differences are not a normal subtractions. They represent the distance between these two terms. So for example, if my solution is represented as sequence of bits, so my particle is actually a sequence of bits. So xi is a sequence of bits and so is xi hat, a best known solution for that particle. So the distance between these two I can calculate maybe using Hamming distance. So this subtraction sign actually represents the distance between two quantities or two solutions. And once we have the updated velocity, we can find the updated position, next position for each particle. So xi t plus 1 represents the position of ith particle at time t plus 1. So, and which is nothing but the particle's current position plus particle's next updated velocity. So using these two terms, I can find the particle's next position. I can update the particle's position. Now, loosely, we can describe this entire velocity equation or this entire algorithm in this scenario. Let's say this is a RAM, and for this RAM, the arrow in yellow gives me its current direction. The arrow in pink gives me RAM's personal best location, a direction, and arrow in blue is direction towards team's best location. Now, given all these three quantities, now we need to move this RAM to the next location. So how we can combine these three terms together? So yellow term gives me inertia component, pink terms gives me a cognitive component, and blue arrow gives me a social component. So using all these three components, how I can find the RAM's updated position? So what I can do, I can take few steps towards current direction. Then I can, from that point, I can take few steps towards personal base location. And from that point, I can take few steps towards team's base location. And that will be RAM's updated location. So this is one way I can combine all these three terms together instead of normal addition of these three terms. There are different ways I can combine these three terms together. And this arrow in green now gives me the updated direction, updated velocity for RAM. Okay, so that arrow in green now turns yellow because that will be the current direction now for RAM. Again, pink will represent personal best location and blue will represent team's best location. And this ends one iteration for Ram. Similarly, there will be some other team members in team of Ram, and for those team members, we will update their current locations, and in the process, we may update team's best location. Once we update the location of Ram, this ends one iteration for Ram. Now this Ram may have other team members. So for those team members, we will update their locations, respective locations. Now in the process, other team members may find a better solution than team's best location. So we will update team's best location also in one iteration. And then for the next iteration of Ram, we will use that updated team's best location. I hope this explains the velocity equation for PSO. In next video, we will see the exact algorithm for PSO